Roger, is it difficult at all to have the same intensity when you know that you've already won the group?
Not really, because I feel I give 100% every time I step on a court, so it's a matter of trying to do exact same thing, you know, knowing I don't really need to win, but maybe because I know that, somewhere you just maybe don't, you know, play the same way. Who knows? But still have to give credit to Mardy. I mean, the first set wasn't as one-sided as the score suggested, and the second set he played great. He really started to zone in on many shots, and I thought he was able to keep that up in the third set. So I was happy to get the, you know, the crucial break early in the third, and maybe then cruise a bit more. But I definitely struggled a bit more today, but I thought that was more due to the circumstances, like you mentioned, and Mardy actually playing well at I think for most of the match actually.
Hello, Roger.
Hi.
That win takes you to 37 in the finals in all time, 2 within Lendl's record. How important is legacy at this stage of your career?
Well, I didn't know about it. I'm happy I was able to win today just because of momentum for the semis in a couple of days. Yeah, I'm surprised how well it's gone always at the World Tour Finals level for me, because these are maybe almost the toughest and the most dangerous matches to play during the year, because it's best of 3. It's against fellow top 10 players indoors, where a few shots usually do decide the outcome of the match. And so, I mean, I guess I do play for a little bit of the legacy and the history and, you know, the record books, all that stuff. But it's really the press that reminds me of most things, and I just try to go along with it because I have no intentions to quit, so I can concentrate on playing just tennis at the moment.
Roger, it strikes me that you're hitting more backhand winners this week. Are you whipping it a bit more? Are you putting more topspin on it? Is there anything you're doing differently?
I think I'm hitting my backhand well. It started in Paris already. I think I got into a really good groove, but that was because conditions were slower and I, you know, had more time to set up the shot. But it's true. I think I've gotten confident on that side as well, you know. And then if I mix it up with a good slice and some, you know, heavy roller backhands, and then I can even mix in the flat one sometimes. I think it's working well as a variation. It's always been a good variation shot for me anyway, at the backhand side. But I agree, particularly this week and last week, it's been working really well.
Hi. Can you give us an update on the current state of affairs in the debate about the length of the season and whether a strike is, in the end, still an option in some way?
No, it's not been an option, in my opinion. Next year's season is going to be shortened by 2 weeks. That's, I think, as much as we can squeeze it, really, because otherwise a lot of tournaments would have to go, or we would have 4 tournaments the same week, which I don't think is a very smart idea, to be honest, for the game. But yeah, it was brought up a few months ago, the whole boycott thing, and it's nonsense, and it's not going to happen anytime soon if things are good right now. So I don't see a reason why we should just boycott. There's absolutely no reason for it.
Roger, but having said that, I mean, I don't know if you watched Novak's match last night. There maybe is a perception that some of the other guys are short on gas in the tank. Do you think there's anything in that?
I mean, the season's always been long and tough and grueling. Back in the day, they used to play singles and doubles. Now maybe it's gotten more physical, so we play mostly only singles. But I've played 10 years straight now, I guess 60+ matches, if not even 90 at times. That's just singles. So I mean, I think it's about how you manage your schedule. And who knows, at the end of the day, Novak might still win the tournament here. We're talking this like that right now. But we know things change very quickly. Rafa could still end up winning the tournament, so could Novak. So that's why we have to wait and see. And it's only really the final day that we'll really know who is tired and who's not. But right now, it's all just a debate, which is not a good one to have right now at this stage.
On another subject, are you now an Arsenal fan? And secondly, sitting next to Thierry Henry during a match like that, does he pass on little tips to you as to what's happening at that level? I mean, you can't sit next to him when he watches you play,
Yeah.
but what happened last night?
Yeah, I mean, Terry, obviously being a legend of the club, asked me if I wanted to join. Or he actually almost said, "You have to come." This is like a must. It's like, well, let me just try to beat Rafa first, and if I'm through in the group, maybe I think there's a good chance I'll come. And then right away, I told him I'm coming, and there was great seats, and sitting next to him was interesting. Just to, like you say, I would ask him questions like, why would they have played this way, or why did they do that, or what does that player do well? And you know, he can explain you so well all these things. He's like a manager, so it's like it was very interesting for me. I enjoyed it, and I think he enjoyed it as well to host me, because he's come and watched a lot of tennis, and you know, I've provided him, I guess, with a lot of tickets. So for him to give back like this was a beautiful thing as well. I was even able to go down on the pitch, go into the locker room, meet the players, and they were extremely happy. And it was just nice for me to go see some English football. I haven't seen you know, soccer here that often. 10 years ago, I think I went to see England Argentina in the old Wembley Stadium. That's the only soccer match I've seen in England. Other than that, never before. So that's why I was very excited that I had a chance to go to the Emirates Stadium.
Roger, sorry to sort of draw you back to a political situation, but do you have any thoughts at all on the suggestion made by some people that we should go to a 2-year ranking in tennis? That we should decide rankings over a 2-year period as they do in golf, rather than a 1-year period as we do right now?
You want my opinion on the 2-year ranking, or well, I'm not a big fan of it, just because I think it would make things rather boring. But that's my personal opinion. Other than that, as the president of the player council, I think it's not a good thing for the lower ranked players. To be quite honest, I think it's going to be a struggle for them to make a big breakthrough. It's going to take them multiple breakthrough, and so the dream of, you know, having one great tournament and making a move, in my opinion, is never going to happen. And I like golf, but I couldn't tell you who's in the top 10 of golf right now. I couldn't even mention 4 players. So this is where I think tennis lives from the weekly rankings we have, the changes. You guys love it, I think. You guys like writing stories and the debates about what's going on. If we had a 2-year ranking, things would be so slow and nothing would really move. That I can't support it as a president of the player council, and I have to look at all the players in the eye. Not just, I know it could be a good thing for me or for Rafa or for other good players, because we would stay at the top for a very long time, and for us to move down in the rankings would take something extraordinary. So, but for the lower ranked players, I think it's not a good thing, and that's why I can't support it.
Roger, I don't know if you'd like to discuss the discussions about the new ATP CEO at the stage of the competition.
I'm happy to discuss anything with you. That's why I'm here.
Okay, but I'm curious to know, but you being or having the status of a statesman of the game, and considering your passion for the game, if you ever consider being an ATP CEO in the future?
Myself? Oof. No, I'm very happy with the player right now situation. But it's a very important role. Let's not kid ourselves. I've had a few CEOs, you know, in my lifetime as a player, and I've gotten to understand how important that role is. You know, that person between the tournaments and the players, and you know, understanding both sides, and wanting to talk and listen to the players and the tournaments, I think is a very important one. So I think it's a very difficult job to do, quite honest, because you'll always upset someone on some side. But I think it's a good thing that the top players are involved. But at the end of the day, it's the board that takes the decision, and we as a council or as top players can only talk to them and give our opinion, and then we'll see where it takes us. And this debate now in this CEO position after Adam Helfand is an interesting one. It's still ongoing. No decision has been taken yet, and so for the time being, we're waiting to see what's going to happen. But it's going to be an interesting next few weeks and months, I'm sure.
Roger, if you don't mind, could you look back at Basel finals against Nishikori?
I would like to do that, yes. What would you like to know?
What impression did you have about him, and what do you think about his potential in the future?
Well, I always knew he had a great potential, and I always saw a very talented player in front of me every time I played with Kay, and that was when he's back 17 years old. You know, 5 years ago, I think, when I hit with him the first time. So it was for me really nice to see the breakthrough he did in Shanghai and then also in Basel. You know, using the wild card to his advantage, and then moving all the way, you know, to the finals, beating Djokovic in the season he had, and Berdych also in a great season he had, was really nice to see. And playing him in the finals like this was special, really, because I know Japan's a country that gets very excited about you know, a player like Kei, and I'm sure he's going to be a wonderful player, but only, you know, the future will tell if he's going to move into the top 10, top 5. But I definitely think he has the potential, and he's a wonderful player and a very nice person.
Roger, you're getting ever closer to the number 3 spot again. What would it mean to you to reclaim it?
I don't know what it takes, so it doesn't mean the world to me. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to change anything for the seedings at the Australian Open. So for that reason, it doesn't change anything for me, my personal opinion.